what do you think? What's the balance here? What do you think as a biographer you owe, first of all, your subject? And how do you balance that with what you owe your readers? And how do you balance those with what you owe yourself as the
Um,
writer?
Very near the end, Philip, I think, had about 6 months to live. It
Mhm.
was our last formal sit down interview in his apartment on the Upper West Side. And he was very crabby. He had just had a aortic valve replacement and he felt very punk and, you know, and he was getting fretful about me and
Mm.
what I was up to. And by then, I'd been on the job for over 5 years, about 5.5 years. And he says, what do you make of me? What do you make of me? And he wanted to know what was I going to do to him, and this was Philip's great last concern. Okay. He didn't have family. He did not have a significant other. He was a very lonely man in his last years. And he was worried to death about his legacy. And that ball was in my court,
Wow.
you
Wow.
know.
Yeah.
So that was heavy. And I said to Philip, I took my laptop out and I said, let me show you something. And by then I was beginning to very meticulously, I pride myself on that, organize my notes. And I said, I'm going to show you a few pages of my notes so you can see how I work. And I showed them to him. And I said, Philip, what I'm trying to convey is that I did not have any preconceived ideas about you going into this, which is true and which is always true of all my subjects. Or if I have them, I try to relinquish them. I said, I just gather as much evidence as humanly possible. I talk to everybody. I get every letter, et cetera, et cetera. And then the chips fall where they may. I mean, I finally I have everything spread out before me. I can see what themes in a person's life deserves how much emphasis, the bad and the good, and I let it rip. It's like what Gerald Clark said about Capote. And by the way, Gerald Clark's portrayal of Capote puts my own liberties to shame. Like Capote hired goons to terrorize recalcitrant lovers and stuff like that. Gerald Clark said, I just assumed I could say whatever I wanted. And I said it. And I very much adhere to the same philosophy.
Yeah, it's all in here. I mean, the good, the bad, the ugly. It's all in this book. You had